Welcome one and all, whoever may be watching this, part 22, Tides of Numenéra. We are in the the Valley of Dead Heroes.
Let's do it.
Gotta deal with like cultists or something. While we're in the valley, I've got a place I'd like to visit. My village's monument. I haven't been there for a while, need to pay my respects. It's not far from here, so it's not really out of the way. I'll see what we can do. Appreciate it. What do you know about the valley? Burial place for countless civilizations. Not in the valley itself, but below it. Maiadea's memorial is here. It used to be peaceful, serene, a place where people could come and think for a spell. I've never been to the necropolis. Never really had any urge to see it, he laughed softly. None of my dead left any remains anyway. How are you holding up? As well as can be expected. Cool. Maybe I should check in with everyone while we're here.
Oh! The Valley of Dead Heroes. I like it here. There's absolutely no place we should avoid completely.
Is that subtle enough? We will have to see. We are full of suspense. Are you trying to hide something from me? No, Arita says with a fixed grin. Sweat gleams on his brow. I just like it here. Who wouldn't? I don't. He swallows hard. We didn't tell him to say that. His mind is pushing against ours.
Updated my journal.
Every inch of this valley is packed with adventure. One of his hands comes up, trembling to cover his eyes. Interesting people, places to explore, like... He trails off, biting his lip. We should explore all of it, even the alcoves. I'm not afraid of any of it. Stop shouting at me. But we don't want him to go back to the alcove. We are using clever manipulation. Why are you trying to manipulate me, Aritas? He rocks backwards on his feet, almost as if your words have struck him a blow. His eyes fill with desperate tears. I'm not. Please, I'm not. Help me. What is happening? Let us direct him. No! His glow returns and he sinks into it gratefully, smiling. I don't even know what that word means, he mumbles. I'm fine. Everything is fine. Forget I said anything. But his gaze has slipped from yours to fix on the empty air. Where is this alcove you mentioned? The smile falls from Aritas' face. He looks away. I wasn't talking about any alcove, just alcoves in general, in the Valley of Dead Heroes. I'm not frightened of them. Blinking rapidly, he gives you a fierce look. I'm not. What do you know about the Valley of Dead Heroes? Well, it's full of dead heroes, he says, concentrating. I think that's somewhere in the name. He stares around. On second thought, I didn't die here, so maybe the name is wrong. Grimacingly, he holds his head. I remember someone sleeping here, in an alcove, he sighs, smiling in relief. Then I woke up, and I never saw the alcove again. The end. The hero is still talking about our prison again. Whose idea was it to remind him? Yours. Why didn't you stop us? Interesting. So maybe he's carrying dead spirits.
What now?
What can you tell me about the valley? No bodies above ground, just memorials, markers, obelisks. Some past worlds scoured the valley and made sure nothing could survive here. I've heard of people who come with the intention of leaving a body above ground, and they wound up putting it in the necropolis anyway. The valley does strange things to people's minds. She looks away. Never spent much time here, just passing through to get to meal a vest. How are you holding up? I'll stick with you. You're a different breed from the rest of us. You're making progress. What progress? What am I doing? Alright, let's have a look at what this is.
Sure.
Ooh, and then also what that is. This is an interesting place.
All right.
A sliver of darkness hangs before you like the entrance of a cave, except there is no cave, only a tear in space. Within the darkness you see the glow of stars, and a cool night breeze wafts past you, carrying the scent of desert flowers and the echoes of sounds you are not hearing around you. If you step through that darkness, you might go anywhere, or maybe nowhere. It could be nothing but shadow. The cool air that sighs through it seems to follow you. The shadow does not change, no matter your perspective. You have the discomforting feeling that your attention on it has drawn its attention to you, that it is somehow examining, analyzing, and assessing you. Sure, why not walk into the darkness? You step into the darkness and it envelops you, then dissolves you into twinkling motes, drifting in a sphere of light. The light carries you through a black void, weightless, bodiless, selfless, towards another patch of starry sky. Then suddenly, you are somewhere else. Oh, nice. So it's like a transportation thing? That's... Oh, Persea, hello. You recognize this woman from the description that Omadon gave you in Sega's Cliffs. This is Persea, Omadon's lost love. She certainly doesn't appear as confused as Omadon made her sound. Instead, she's studying the necropolis with a frustrated expression. Persea, isn't it? A man named Omadon was looking for you. Tranquility and I put a stop to that. You what? She says, whirling around. Her eyes are wide, pale circles. She studies your face, smiles a little, and relaxes. Good. I hope whatever you did was permanent. The idiot was so convinced I needed help. Is it so hard to just believe someone's words? She turns back to the necropolis. Damnable cultists, she mutters. I need to get back inside, but I can't risk it. She catches your eye. Never mind. None of this is your concern. You've done more than enough. Ah, but I want to make it my concern. That's how this works, right?
Of course.
Oh, okay, nothing comes up, so we can't...
Yes.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Ooh, yay! A large, upside-down pyramid floats before you, lit from below by a soft white light. It is made of weathered stone, but you can see lights and hear a faint buzzing through the cracks in its crumbling facade. You study it from every side. There's no inscription to explain why it was erected or by whom, nor is there any obvious way to interact with it. You do notice that the light from inside the cracks seems to follow your hand as you slide it across, so perhaps it is reacting to you after all. Let's try to figure it out. Ooh, 75. Bam. I win. You slide your hand across the pyramid, following not the cracks but the symbols and etchings on its surface. After a great deal of experimentation and not a small amount of luck, you discover a specific pattern which causes the light to grow in intensity. As it does, a soft warmth envelops you, refreshing your body and mind. You feel better, however the pyramid seems to grow more dim. Oh yeah, oh, restored 1 intellect. Oh okay, I thought it gave me 1 intellect, but I'll take that. You stop, not wanting to waste the pyramid's obvious healing powers just yet. It should be saved for a time when you really need it. Now we're gonna be fighting. What kind of setup is this? Who are these people? Do I want to talk to them? The man looks up at you momentarily before looking away into the distance at nothing in particular. He takes a drag on his smoke. His presence strikes you as odd, as if something about him were trying to inspire dread in you. What are you doing here? Trying to get home. You see that woman? That's Thalana. You got questions? He points. Yeah. Okay, farewell. You see a slender woman covered in warm brown robes leaning over the fire, the cowl pulled low over her head. Her skin is a dark bronze color. Here to interrogate me? She pulls back her cowl enough for you to see that her long hair is more silver than brown, and the years of life on the road are apparent in her face. She looks weary and exhausted, except for her eyes, which burn like golden fire. I am Thalana McWereth. What do you Her eyes alight on your tattoo and she hisses. Skist, you are all over the place here, eh? Look, I can't tell you anything, alright? We're done with fighting. Let her drag us back. We'll take off again. We're not going back to that hell. What are you talking about? She looks confused for a moment. You're a cast-off, so either you're here to drag us back or kill us. She turns to her side and pauses as if listening to the words that you cannot hear. Then she responds, No, I suppose you're right. Still, she's a cast-off. His lip curls with distaste. More detritus from the changing god's arrogance, more damage caused by cast-offs. If you have a problem with all cast-offs, Alagern, you have a strange way of showing it. Or maybe you hadn't noticed that you're standing next to two of us. He shrugs and glowers. Maybe we should ask the lady here some questions. I have no part in the endless battle, but answer some questions for me. She breathes out a low whistle. All right, good, sure, we'll answer anything we can. What can you tell me about the endless battle? Oh, no. It's too much horror. She shuts her eyes tight and shakes her head. When she opens them again, her eyes are cold. You want to know about the endless battle? Talk to my crew. Hear it from those who ran, why they ran. Then maybe I'll tell you what I think. Looks like you've been resting here a while. Is it safe? It'll cost 100 shins. Far out. This game apparently thinks I'm a millionaire by now.
Done.
Okay, so I'm sensing some tension in this city.
I'm ready.
So obviously there's a way to get up here.
On my way.
Let's see what this blob is all about. A tear in space hangs before you like a black spot on your retina. Something's different about this tear from the others in the valley. Looking into this one is like looking into an abandoned cave. No breeze or sound or light stir within it, and its edges are slowly disintegrating. This looks like a lot of the other floating rifts you've seen, but the life you felt in the others is weak in this one. As soon as you get close to it, you feel its anguished mind responding to your presence, seeking connection. There is a desperation to the contact that is palpable. Perhaps this feeling has something to do with the fact that the void within doesn't connect to anything. A lance of darkness stretches towards you tentatively, questioningly. It wants to bond. Sure, let's be friends. You reach out and touch the lance of darkness. It stabs forward suddenly, through your hand and into your chest. There is a flash of pain and you feel its desperation. It needs to be connected. Then the lance recedes, but something remains lodged in your chest, pulsing alongside your heart. You feel more sharp and alert. It gives you a piece of itself. Oh hey, nice, my intellect is now 13. The darkness surrounds you. You are whipped by it as if by a wind. It is a swirling vortex with no way ahead and no way back. the opening you passed through has vanished into utter darkness. A hail of tiny objects batters you in the dark, thrown by the wind, rocks or bones or drit, you cannot tell. Then something large and sharp slams into you, and you wrestle with it for a moment before realizing it's a skeleton, though not human. As you try to shrug it off, you feel an object in its hands. You pry it free and the skeleton falls past you. Then the wind lofts you towards a bright spot in the darkness, and you tumble back out of the opening you entered, clutching the stolen object in your hand. Nice. Well, I guess I'm friends with darkness now.
Fine.
Let's see what else is around, I guess. This is a weird place. Oh, nice. We can touch the cat.
Fine.
Oh no. What's happened here? Also, you look like what's-her-face. Distracted? Disturbed. This cultist mutters a reply to a question you did not hear. He barks a laugh to quib that was not told. Indeed, he seems only loosely aware of anyone else's presence. He brings a cleaver down just inches from the other's hand. Perfect, beautiful, free in every world. Will you watch what you're doing? You nearly severed my arm instead of his. The air around him becomes hazy as he smiles. Sorry, didn't catch that. Too much going on. The two cultists break off their conversation as they notice you. The man, big, raw-boned, and unsettlingly unfocused, steps over the corpse they've been hacking up and raises his butcher knife. You again, he says, glaring at you, and without that crazy redhead this time. Good, you haven't got a chance without her. Have we met before? He sneers. Fought you 3 times so far walking through here. Twice that redhead did for me. But I still put my knife in your neck in every stream. Whichever way it goes, you're done. What redhead are you talking about? Oh. The one like me. Stopped 2 of my lines so far, he grins. She's not in this one, is she? Calistige, that was her name. You can see into other realities. I can see everywhere, meatbag. Everywhere. I don't want to fight you. He laughs darkly. Then you shouldn't have stumbled past me. She allows herself a wolfish smile. This is tiresome. Are you going to keep yapping at us, or are you going to put the blade to use? The cultist turns to her companion. Colo. Do I survive this? It's easy for you, but me. I've only got 1 life. Fine, fine. We'll let them go, he snarls at you. But this valley is the turret of the children of the Endless Gate. You pass here at our pleasure. Thanks, Colo. Jeez. How do I actually interact with
Like a whisper.
this? Oh, okay, cool. We can go up the stairs here. What the mess?
Of course.
This 5-meter-long black slab of basalt, or perhaps obsidian, has been smoothed by age. A stone statue holds the slab at angle, lifting it into the sky. Or is he lowering it? It's impossible to determine whether the incline is real or if you imagine it. At the top end, you can see a window into another reality, a portal wide enough to step through. On the other side is what looks like a harsh and angular world. I'm going to examine the statue. It is a grey statue of a robed man with an ornate warhammer strapped to his back, holding the obelisk aloft, or setting it down gently, with his muscular arms. He exudes a fierce determination, as if he were using every quantum of energy in raising or lowering the slab. A sign has been added to his back, a childish scrawl that reads, "The Saint of Proverbs." You can hear something, a faint whisper of human thought. You can't make out what it's saying, but it feels like it's coming from the statue itself. Are you raising the slab or lowering it? The statue does not answer you. Perhaps it cannot answer you. Examine the slab. It seems perfectly smooth. Some loving hand has polished it into a mirror gloss, though distortions beneath its surface change your appearance with every slight movement. As you lean in to examine it, your reflection appears unspeakably beautiful. A few centimeters closer and it becomes a shrieking horror. This close, you can feel a dense psychic weight around the obelisk, as if a culture's hopes and expectations had been packed into a single solid form. The thought of meeting those expectations and ascending the incline is daunting. What happens if I climb to the portal? The slab is nearly frictionless, and you find it almost impossible to gain any sort of traction. But as you press your fingers onto its surface, you can feel it melting slightly at your touch. You pull yourself slowly upward on your belly, inch by inch, your fingers beginning to bleed. You have just reached the 3-meter mark when the glistening rock begins to shake. You release your grip and slide to the ground, all your progress lost in a moment. A voice cries out in mortal terror, and the men here crashes to the ground with a thunderous roar. A great plume of dust rises in the air. Oh, what did I do? Whoops. When the dust settles, the portal has vanished. You can barely make out the fingers of a hand protruding from beneath the rock, holding a scrap of grey fabric that looks almost like a mask. The fingers twitch once, twice, and it's still. A trickle of dark fluid dribbles out in a thin stream. It is grey, the colour of stone, leached of life. It has no other distinguishing characteristics. None, that is, but the strip of... Yep, okay, take the mask. As you pick up the mask, its ashen gaze fixes on you. The grey fabric feels like flesh, a slab of wet meat dragged across your fingers. A whisper caresses your mind. Prosper. You feel an unconscious revulsion, and then you turn away from the fallen slab.
Look out below! Above! Sideways! Fine.